for joining me. This is Liz at Liz at Home, and today I'm excited. I want to try and paint in my Arteza watercolor sketchbook again, and I want to try and paint some pretty spring tulips. So I have lightly sketched them out. So I want to do sort of two biggish tulips on this page. I have 2 vessels of water. I have, which I'm excited to try, my brand new Craftamo bamboo round brushes, a size 10 and a size 6. Aren't they pretty? With the rose gold ferrule and, oh, I'm very excited. They feel gorgeous and with their lovely little points. I have a variety of paints here. So I'm probably going to, I wanted to make them pink tulips, so I'm probably going to use this Daniel Smith Rhodonite Genuine, and I'm probably going to use a Qor Sap Green, but I've mixed it with a bit of Qor, what is it called, Green Gold, because I had that in my palette. So I have wet my paints, and I'm just going to erase this a little bitty so that the pencil line is not too noticeable. I think my eraser is getting old. I've already rolled it over here once. The trouble is when it's too gone, then I can't see. So I'll just have to drop in some dark around the outline or something and hope for the best. What is Jack Reacher's famous saying? Plan for the worst, hope for the best, plan for the worst. I've got some paper towel. It's a bit grubby, but I've got some clean standing by if this gets too messed up. So, put a clean one on there, and I'll put my paints here. It's probably the best. I hope that you can see. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit more of this Rhodonite Genuine. I bought these Daniel Smith paints ages ago, and I don't use them very often. No, sorry, I can't actually paint with it on that side. I need to rest my hand here. So I've got a watery mixture of this. And I'm just going to, it's even now, a bit too pigmented, but it does tend to dry a little bit lighter. In case you're new to watercolor painting, this part where the brush points is where you tend to get your cleaner line, and the bit where the body of the brush is where you get a more fluffy line. So that's why I'm kind of pointing my brush this way. So that there, petal over there, and then I'm going to just add some more water even. No, I don't want it to go through. And try and leave a little bit of white space there. If I get the odd bleed, it's not a train smash. I've been wanting to paint loose tulips ever since I first started watercolor painting, and I still can't. I need to draw them out. And then just a sort of a little triangle to join here. Whoops. Got a bleed there, but I think that's okay. There we are. And I'm going to get some more of this. I want this to be thicker now. So I'm taking this slightly thicker consistency, tapping off, and just going to tap into where it's a bit damp so it can hopefully bleed out. So the Rhodonite is one of the Daniel Smith sort of gem colors. and I haven't used them much. I've always been interested in them. I don't know that they're ideal for florals, but I love trying new things, so we're going to go with that. I see it's got a bit of a break in the colour that goes to a sort of almost a brown. I want that down there. I just actually want that outline to bleed in a bit. And then I must stop playing with that one and water this down again. Going to start with the main petal here. These brushes are divine. If you're interested, let me know and I'll leave you a link. Bought them a little while ago, but they've been sitting in my cupboard waiting for me, patiently waiting. Often think of Toy Story and all these things that sit in our cupboards and wait for us. Such a pretty pink. I like this. Going with the thicker and just dropping some in. This is a bit better because this is still wet. I think I've let the other get a bit dry. This Arteza paper isn't fabulous. It's not dreadful. I mean, it's a sketchbook. It's not for selling artwork or anything, but I'm not at a stage in my art where I could ever dream of selling my artwork, so it works for me just to try things out. I do have nice paper as well, which is great to work on because then things tend to work better. The 100% cotton paper. Just want to spread all of the damp bits around here so that it's evenly damp, and then get some of the thicker consistency and rub it in. And at the base. It's Saturday today. I can't believe it's Easter Sunday tomorrow. I had all these plans of all this Easter colouring I was going to do. Actually, this is probably only going to be posted on Wednesday next week. So, because I want to do some colouring and do some Easter colouring today as well and film it before Easter's gone and done and dusted, and I haven't actually done any Easter colouring yet. I've done some spring colouring, but not actual Easter colouring. It's so disappointing because to me that is some of the prettiest imagery that you get. I just love the images. Still, there's nothing to say that we can't colour holidays throughout the year. Oh, I quite like that bleed. So now I'm going to rinse this brush out and leave it and come back with a size 6 brush and some sap green, which is this one here. This is a Qor Sap Green and it tends to travel quite a lot. The Qor has something that makes it travel quite a lot. So I'll start at the bottom. So I've got less on my brush when I get to the top. So I want a little bit of a bleed, but I don't want a huge bleed. Tulips have got quite thick stems. There we've got a bit of a bleed going on there. That's fine. And there, that's dry already. let that go right down. And while it's still, I think I'm going to do I think I need to actually let this all dry and then I'll be back. I love these brushes. Well, this is dried nicely, and you can see how that paint has sort of separated into quite interesting colors. I'm using, oh, I just need a sip of water. I'm using my size 6 brush here, and I'm going to use the Qor Sap Green. Everything's dried up a bit now. I did spray this again. And I'm going to do the leaves. So I'm going to go from there in a broad stroke and to a point, and then there we are, there's one leaf. And let me get some more paint there. Just going to drop some in along the edge. Whoa. It's quite more than I intended, but never mind. Let's just see what happens. So I'm going to rinse that off my brush, and I'm drying my brush off here. Still got too much paint in there. I'm drying my brush off, and then I'm just going to blend it out a bit. So one does need to dry the brush off so that you don't get too much water. Now I want to do another leaf here. And then I wanted to try and come down there. Not quite sure how to do that. Whoops. I think I'm going to have to... That's not perfect. All right, so I need this a little bit broader here. Yikes. I need to turn my page. There we are. And I'll get some dark in at the base of this. At the... Not the base, the left-hand side where the sun's not shining is what I mean. There we are, that's fine. To a point. There we are. All right, now I'm drying that out. And then I'm going to go back to this rose color. And I'm not going to use the Rhodonite Genuine anymore. I'm going to use some, I think I'm going to use some Qor Magenta mixed with that Rhodonite that I've got here. And then I just want to darken it down a little bit. So I'm going to just put a little touch of the sap green in there, which will dull it down a little bit. It's dulled it down too much. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. Let me just try this out here. I think that's too dark. So I'm going to go some more with that. Some more of the magenta in there. It's better. So now I want to darken this bit here. And go in there. And again, I'm washing this off, drying my brush off, and then blending it out a little bit. just want that point there. And then I think I'm going to do the same here. Try and get it closer in. And just let that go there, just as we've got some. And then I think I want to go on the base here a little bit. Some lines and lines there. And the same here. Some thin lines. Oopsie. And here, I'm just trying to keep this very thin so my brush keeps missing the page. But I think that's fine. Let me try and fix that shape a little bit that I don't like. Dry that off and blend it out. There we are. I think we can have some more there, like that. There we are, I think that's okay. And then I want to go back to the green and just darken that down a little bit more. It's just taking a teensy bit of the Qor magenta just to darken the green down. Just checking. That's nice. And I want to go down the left-hand side. I want to do that there, and I want to go down the left-hand side of the stalk. I hope the leaf is dry enough now. And here as well. And the left-hand side of the stalk. So I hope that shows. And then I'm going to go down the left-hand side of this leaf as well. Just a bit to add some depth and shape and texture. All those good things, drying off the brush and blending. Drying off the brush is dried off and blending here and blending here. There we are. I think that's done. I hope you liked this little painting that I did. And I think it's quite sweet. For me, my tulips are starting to look more like tulips. It's a bit wonky there, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Please hit that like button if you've enjoyed watching the video. And I want to thank you very much for watching and for joining me. Have a great day. Bye now.